penguins are male and the other half female. They're all between 2 and 4 years old. The hope is they'll start raising young. This project is part of a program to preserve a population of healthy endangered animals in captivity. Welcome to your new home.
And finally, a dog named End Over End, or Endo for short, became oddly excited to see a veterinarian during a recent visit to a clinic in Colorado. Intern Louie can relate. Anyway, Endo came to the vet to have some at home. The procedure was a success for joy. Right, Louie?
With intern Louie, that's this week's edition of Lola's Lowdown.
That's our time for now. Thanks, Amanda, for helping out.
Thank you.
Happy New Year, everyone. We'll see you back here on Wednesday. News 3 at 5 starts right now. And right now at 5, News 3 investigates why a Madison daycare suddenly closes its doors. Plus, a suspect arrested in connection to the nightclub shooting in Madison is in court. We'll have the very latest. And Democratic-elect Governor Tony Evers appoints his new cabinet secretaries. We'll tell you who.
At 5.
Thanks for staying with us. News 3 is investigating tonight why a Madison daycare is closing suddenly. Our Rose Schmidt has spent the day digging through documents and is here to explain what happened. Rose.
Well, Mark, we received a tip saying Angel's Joy Learning Center was closing, leaving many Dane County families without childcare over the holidays. The question, though, was why? We've learned through documents from the state that a man with a murder conviction was employed by that Madison daycare. Angel's Joy Learning Center is right off the Beltline in Madison. After the daycare's license was revoked, we wanted to know why. We requested documents from the Department of Children and Families showing the state received a complaint saying a man with a felony conviction of murder was employed by Angel's Joy. That employee is 44-year-old Tracy Ferguson. Ferguson was convicted of murder and aggravated battery with a firearm in 1993 in Illinois and got out on parole in January of this year. He's the brother of the center's director, Angela Ferguson, and state documents show he was paid off the books. Ferguson did maintenance work and worked in the kitchen while children were at the daycare. The letter revoking the daycare's license says the center's director lied to the state when she told them Ferguson only worked part-time and was not paid by the daycare. But earning records show Ferguson earned more than $5,000 this year, working up to 25 hours a week. We reached out to Angel's Joy for comment, and they sent us a statement saying, in part, "We are aware that the closing of the center has affected many families. Please know we are doing everything possible in cooperation with licensing to rectify this situation. It is our goal to have our facility up and running as soon as possible." The daycare license was registered to Naoki Lewis. The center director, Angela Ferguson, used to own the daycare center under its former name, Sandbox Childcare. She surrendered her license in 2014 after she had an outstanding balance of $35,000 with the state. The state gave a new license to Lewis under the condition that Angela Ferguson could not be responsible for any financial aspects of that new daycare. But documents show she violated that agreement and uses the center's debit card to make purchases for this daycare.
So some families looking for new daycare.
I would definitely think so.
All right, Rose, thank you very much. Let's get a look now at your first alert weather forecast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti is on the weather patio on this wintry Friday.
Yeah, we're getting a mixture of rain and snow now compared to 24 hours ago when temperatures were in the middle 40s. That's a pretty big change. But let's start out by taking a look at snow cover on the Midwest. You can see some very light snow cover here in the backyard, probably about a quarter of an inch of snow. But to the north and west, that the same storm system that brought us the rain the last couple of days has brought anywhere from 6 to 12 inches or more of snow from South Dakota through the northwestern half of Minnesota and into far northwestern Wisconsin. There are winter weather advisories to our south until midnight for eastern Iowa and northern Illinois because some freezing drizzle has been occurring with the snow. Right now, Doppler track shows light snow across southern Wisconsin. There might be a little freezing drizzle mixed in, especially near and south of the Illinois state line. Visibilities right now generally between about 2 and 5 miles over the southern part of our viewing area, up to the north where the snow is a little bit lighter. The visibilities are a lot better. High temperatures were early this morning. We're at 49 degrees right after midnight here, and now we're at our low temperature for the day of 30 degrees in Madison. Notice temperatures at or slightly above freezing near the Illinois state line, generally below freezing the farther north you go. And wind speeds right now generally in the 8 to 15 mile per hour range, but notice those winds. They're now out of the north and northwest, and that will cause temperatures to continue to drop. By tomorrow morning, we'll be down into the lower 20s. Look for cloudy skies. The best chances for snow will be this evening. Then for tomorrow, look for a cloudy day with maybe some breaks in the clouds late in the afternoon. It will be a little colder with a high temperature of 28. That's your first alert forecast.
All right, Gary, thank you. Madison police say a 12-year-old girl is recovering in the hospital after being hit by a car. Police responded to a call of a pedestrian being hit by a vehicle on East Washington Avenue near First Street around 5:45 last night. When they got there, the driver of the car had already taken off. The girl was taken to the hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The driver of the vehicle later visited a Madison police station to talk with officers. The driver's name was not released by police, but that person was charged with hit and run causing injury. A man arrested in connection with the Madison nightclub shooting appeared in Dane County Court today. 42-year-old Deshaun Robert is charged with possession with intent to deliver heroin and first-degree reckless injury. Robert's muted, and the court entered a not guilty plea on his behalf. A criminal complaint says Robert was involved in a fight that led to 4 people being shot at Visions nightclub earlier this month. A $25,000 cash bond was set for him. He's scheduled to appear in court on January 3rd. Madison police are investigating multiple reports of shots being fired early this morning. Officers were first called to the 100 block of East Gorham Street for a report of a man with a gun. Shortly after responding, officers heard approximately 3 gunshots near East Johnson Street. They found shell casings. Around the same time, police were called to the area of the 3500 block of Packers Avenue for shots being fired there. No injuries were reported. Police do not know at this time if the 2 incidents are related. Well, the staff for Governor-elect Tony Evers continues to take shape, adding 3 names to his administration today. Eric Franke is in the news center with more details. Eric?
That's right, Mark. He has added 10 of his 17 cabinet members. Now he also adds the very important position of budget director today. A current Dane County supervisor, Mary Kohler, will serve as Veterans Affairs Secretary, a retired U.S. Navy captain who served 28 years active duty. Kathy Blumenfeld will serve as Department of Financial Institutions Secretary, and Evers' Assistant School Superintendent Brian Ponke will serve as State Budget Director.
Certainly, we ran on issues that are important to us, but most importantly, we believe state government's job is to solve problems for the people of Wisconsin. And the people that we're going to be introducing today are 3 people that clearly share that vision for us as a state.
Now, those cabinet positions require Senate confirmation, where Republicans hold a 19-14 majority. Yesterday, Evers named his own successor as school superintendent. His deputy, Carolyn Stanford Taylor, will take on that role, becoming the state's first black school superintendent. Mark?
All right, Eric Franke live for us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The new year will bring new possibilities for the Ronald McDonald House after a family-owned business donated $60,000 to them. Andy Kurth and his family own Weedman Lawn Care in Middleton. Kurth says it's part of their mission to provide development and great opportunity for people. They thought the Ronald McDonald House was the embodiment of that. They originally planned to donate $10,000 from their business, but after seeing how many people the Ronald McDonald House has affected at their holiday party, they donated an additional $50,000.
And we're at the point where we want to make sure that we're really doing things that really help our community, and there's really no better cause than what the Ronald McDonald House does.
And coming up tonight at 6, what the Ronald McDonald House had to say about the donation and what they plan on using that money for in the new year. Well, 80% of Wisconsinites who need long-term care get it from their family rather than going to a nursing home. That's why News 3 wants to recognize the relentless work those family members put in day and night. Our Christina Laurie shares one family story.
Call him the Can Man. 27-year-old Adam Nostad owns his own aluminum can recycling business. He's a member of the Stoughton Chamber of Commerce and a taxpayer, too. Adam leads a full life, thriving, thanks to his full-time caregiver, Deb.
Right, buddy?
His mom.
Hey, mother. This is my son, my family, and I will do what I can to provide quality of life for him.
Adam was born with a rare condition. Now, approaching 30, he has the intellectual capacity of a 2-year-old.
Family is not an important thing. It is everything.
The Wisconsin Family and Caregiver Support Alliance says 80% of all caregiving here in Wisconsin is done by family members. For people like Deb, taking care of her son is a full-time, unpaid job.
97% of caregivers report some level of stress, and a great majority of them say they are extremely stressed. They often have had to quit their jobs or reduce their work hours. They've certainly passed up on promotions. So caregiving can be a very stressful job for somebody, and it impacts the whole rest of their life. It impacts their earning power into the future, and ultimately it impacts our economy.
On an average day, Deb spends about 16 hours helping Adam. But not all families have the ability to provide that constant support as they juggle multiple roles caring for several generations.
More people in that sandwich generation where they are moms and dads taking care of young children who now oftentimes are taking care of elderly mom and dad.
The state is now trying to figure out ways to recruit more caregivers, making sure they're well paid, well trained, and given opportunities to grow professionally.
Doctors diagnose, nurses help heal, and caregivers make sense of it all. And I might add, they just plain make it happen.
It takes us 3 weeks to train someone for a 2-hour shift.
People like Deb know the challenges caregivers faced firsthand. Low pay is among her top concerns.
You could work at McDonald's or a retail store for a better wage than you can for personal care.
Deb says the caregivers working with Adam make between $15 and $30 an hour. When you consider the long hours and life or death decisions they make, she doesn't believe that's nearly enough.
When Adam was in the hospital, one of his care providers came up to give us a break because when he's in the hospital, his cares are complex enough that the nursing staff isn't able to keep up.
Hi there. Thanks for all the cans.
Thanks to his mom's undying support,
You gonna give me a recycling tip?
Adam has defied the odds, refusing to let his disability define him.
But the reward is seeing the smile.
Achieving independence for himself.
It gives him purpose. And for me to see how that purpose affects his health and mental well-being is phenomenal.
The Can Man is now providing inspiration to others.
Keep collecting those cans.
Christina Laurie, thank you. According to AARP, family caregivers in Wisconsin provide 538 million hours of care worth an estimated $7 billion to their parents, spouses, partners, and other adult loved ones every year. Pretty amazing. Well, 4 World of Variety stores in southwestern Wisconsin are officially closing today. We first reported in September that the stores in Fenimore, Boscobel, Mount Horeb, and Cross Plains would be closing. The store's owners posted on Facebook that Friday was the last day the stores would be open after 47 years. At one point, World of Variety had 6 locations, with the other 2 in Verona and Darlington. And there's more to come on News 3 at 5. Up next, California officials say the man accused of killing an officer has been captured. We'll tell you what we know about the suspect. Plus, it is now day 7 of the partial government shutdown, what both sides of the aisle are saying about it. Plus, it was a mixed day on Wall Street. The Dow down 76. The NASDAQ, though, gained 5. The S&P was down 3. We'll be right back. Well, authorities say the man accused of killing a California police officer during a traffic stop has been captured. Stanislaus County Sheriff Adam Christensen said that Gustavo Perez Arriaga was arrested in Bakersfield in the death of Ranil Singh. The sheriff says Perez Arriaga was in the country illegally after crossing the border in Arizona and was trying to cross back over the border before his arrest. The sheriff says Perez Arriaga had 2 prior drunken driving arrests and known gang affiliations. It is day 7 of the partial government shutdown, and the White House warns there's no end in sight. President Donald Trump threatened Democrats in a tweet saying, "We will be forced to close the southern border entirely if the obstructionist Democrats do not give us the money to finish the wall." Administration officials say the president is willing to come down from his $5 billion figure for the wall. Democrats say they'll pass a resolution to reopen the government when they return January 3rd and take over the House majority. It would still have to get through a GOP-controlled Senate. Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen is visiting immigration facilities in the U.S.-Mexico border today. That follows the death of a second migrant child in U.S. Border Patrol custody. A government autopsy shows Felipe Gomez Alonso had the flu when he died Monday night, less than 3 weeks after a 7-year-old Guatemalan girl died from dehydration and septic shock. More than 100,000 people have been detained at the border in just the last 2 months. And New York's major utility company is investigating an explosion at a power substation that lit up both the night sky and social media. The eerie blue light could be seen for miles and led to confusion and even some panic last night. It was caused by a transformer explosion in Queens. It caused power outages and transportation delays across the area. Pretty spectacular. And Delta is sending something new into the skies. Next month, the airline will debut its brand new Airbus A220 en route linking New York to Boston and Dallas-Fort Worth. Passengers will find the plane breaks with an unpopular trend by offering wider seats. The 18.6-inch seats across seats are the largest economy seats in Delta's fleet and come as Congress has mandated the FAA to determine a minimum safe seat size on planes.
The reason passengers should care about the A220 are 3 magical words: wider coach seats. You don't hear airlines introducing planes that are actually much more comfortable for us as travelers, especially in coach.
The 109-seat A220 boosts bigger overhead bins so your bag will fit, larger windows, in-seat power and TV screens, and it's the only airliner we know of that has a window in the bathroom. I guess at 30,000 feet, if you want to look out, you're all set.
I'll settle for the wider seats.
Yes, absolutely. That is great news.
It certainly is. Who knows how long it'll take for that to filter down to the rest of us. Well, right now we have snowflakes filtering down from the sky, but other than a little bit of white on the grass and a little bit on the backyard patio, it's not very much here in Madison, but it is noticeably colder than it was at this time yesterday when we were in the mid-40s. Right now we're at 30 degrees in Madison. Temperatures to our north are in the upper 20s. To the south, right around freezing in Monroe, just above freezing in Janesville, but those temperatures will continue to drop with time. On Doppler track, you can see a large area of light snow. There could be a little freezing drizzle, especially near and south of the Illinois state line. There are winter weather advisories to the south across parts of northern Illinois till midnight tonight for that. But to the north and west, most of the snow is south and east of La Crosse. So I think it'll be mainly during the evening hours that we face the prospects for for any snow. To the south, there's that winter weather advisory for eastern Iowa and northern Illinois. To the north, still winter weather advisories for some lake effect snows up in Iron and Ashland counties. Snow depth right now pretty healthy across the northwestern half of Minnesota and far northern Wisconsin. Many locations between 6 inches and a foot of snow. Most of that just over the last couple of days. Here in southern Wisconsin, it's less than an inch, but at least there's a little bit of white on the ground. You can see in the live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison, the snowflakes filtering in the lights there of the Capitol. High today 49, but that was right after midnight. The low temperature is the current temperature of 30, and we'll probably drop below that over the next few hours. It's 30 right now with cloudy skies, a little bit of light snow, winds out of the north-northwest at 12 miles per hour. High temperatures today, again, very mild, but they were early in the morning. Milwaukee's at 52. Yesterday, we hit a high of 50 in Madison, and that tied a record going back to 2003. But look at the temperatures to our west, already below zero across the eastern Dakotas, where they had blizzard conditions over the last couple of days, and that cold air is heading in our direction now that there's some snow on the ground to the north and west. Upper level winds right now still from the southwest, fueling those snow showers and flurries here, but eventually those upper level winds at least will become westerly or west northwesterly, and that will start to bring down the colder air through the Dakotas and Minnesota and eventually into southern Wisconsin. High pressure is located over the Dakotas, where temperatures right now are in the single digits above and below zero. To the south and east of the Ohio River, temperatures are well into the 50s, so a big temperature contrast. But on future track, you can see how the clouds will linger around for much of the day tomorrow and then start to break up tomorrow night. Those winds will shift right back around into a southerly direction by Sunday, warming temperatures back up into the middle 30s, and we'll see a mild end to the year. But notice one storm system to the south, mainly rain, another to the north and west with mainly some light snow as we head into New Year's Day morning. We're going to kind of be right in between, but eventually a mixture of rain and snow will change over to some light snow by just about the time the new year rolls in, and then it'll turn sharply colder for the start of 2019. Tonight, cloudy and colder, snow showers and flurries mainly this evening, low temperature dropping to 21. For tomorrow, cloudy and colder, high temperature 28, maybe a little sunshine late in the day. On future track, you can see most of the snow showers out of here after midnight. By morning, we're down into the lower 20s. Cloudy skies for much of the day tomorrow with highs in the upper 20s, but we'll clear out tomorrow night. However, the winds become southerly, so low temperatures only drop into the lower 20s. And then on Sunday, look for high temperatures in the middle to upper 30s with plenty of sunshine. Snowfall amounts this evening, maybe a couple of tenths of an inch in a few spots. Otherwise, as we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, you'll see those temperatures on the mild side for Sunday and Monday, the New Year's Eve, and then turn sharply colder for New Year's Day. A warm front on Wednesday night could bring some flurries, and then temperatures jump into the upper 30s on Friday, and then back down into the 20s with some snow chances toward the end of next weekend. First alert traffic, it's Friday in the middle between two holidays, so things pretty quiet on the Beltline right now. There's the DOT camera at Fish Hatchery Road in the Beltline. Seeing a little bit of a slowdown southbound on Verona Road from the Beltline. Also a slowdown on Stoughton Road heading northbound from the Beltline, and also a slowdown on East Washington Avenue near Easttown Shopping Center. Otherwise, about average times on the Beltline from between University Avenue and the interstate, about 17 to 18 minutes in either direction. 28 minutes down to Janesville on I-3990, and 17 minutes out to Sauk City on US 12 and out to Sun Prairie on US 151 and East Washington Avenue. That's your first alert traffic.
Everybody's at the malls and somebody on the Beltline.
That's true.
All right, Gary, thank you. Still at 5, the number of people going to urgent care centers is up, while the number of people going to the ER is down. We'll tell you why after the break. Well, more and more people are visiting urgent care centers when they're sick instead of making an appointment with a primary care doctor or going to the ER. Hillary Lane shows us how these facilities are changing the face of the healthcare industry.
David Weiner knew it was time to see a doctor after feeling under the weather for almost a week.
I had a sore throat for the last few days and wanted to get checked out for strep throat and then also a rash on my hands and face.
So he walked into Northwell Health Go Health Urgent Care in New York.
You're seen quickly, get good service, and just much easier than going to my primary care doctor.
New research in JAMA Internal Medicine finds the number of people treated at urgent care centers has more than doubled over the past 8 years, while visits to primary care doctors and emergency rooms for non-life-threatening conditions are declining.
We are a lot more convenient, right? So a patient can look at our wait times live online.
Dr. J.D. Zipkin says the centers treat a wide range of conditions, from cold and flu to broken bones and injuries that need stitches. But he says urgent care should not replace regular doctor visits and that emergencies always require a trip to the ER.
The times that it's really not appropriate to go to an urgent care are things that truly do need the emergency room, like heart attacks, strokes, major motor vehicle accidents, or any other larger trauma.
Most urgent care visits cost significantly less than an ER visit and are similar in price to a primary care visit.
It's red back there. It doesn't look like strep.
In less than 30 minutes, Weiner left with treatment plans for his sore throat and poison ivy. Hillary Lane, CBS News, New York.
And we'll have another check of the weather when we come back. Kind of a mild end to 2018.
Yeah, it's turning colder now, but we're back to where we should be temperature-wise, and we're seeing some light snow out there. For the most part, not too heavy. In fact, visibilities right now generally around 1 to 2 miles. So the snow just very lightly sticking, and then as you get closer to La Crosse, much of the snow is just down to flurries or has ended altogether. Temperatures continue to drop here in Madison. We're now down to 29 degrees. It's still around freezing near the Illinois state line where there's some freezing drizzle. High of 28 tomorrow, back up to 37 for Sunday and 36 for New Year's Eve, and then sharp drop to 21 on New Year's Day, and up and down temperatures for the rest of next week with some snows toward the weekend.
Cold start to the new year. That's our time for now. Thanks for watching.